Well, I am going to go ahead and try my first stab at this. These are going to be Palmiers if I am lucky. So it's the first time I've made these cookies, and it's the first time I've used this brand of Just Roll puff pastry. I usually use a different brand. If you've never used puff pastry, it's really, really easy to use. It does the work by itself. So you get it out of the fridge, you let it rest for just a minute, and then you roll it out. So with these particular cookies, they need sugar on the bottom and they need sugar on the top. This is the top. Right now, I'm going to flip it over. It's going to be the bottom. And then I'm going to roll them up and I'll show you. So Palmiers are also called, and I may be saying that wrong, Palmiers. They are also called elephant ears sometimes. So like I said, I used that. I was going to use raw sugar, but I decided to use cinnamon sugar because I was going to put cinnamon on it anyway. There's also the option of taking your rasp machine or whatever you have, and this is beat up, getting some zest off an orange. I haven't thought about doing that just yet, but I might. So I'm going to flip this over now. I had it flipped. I had to use I have to get it out from under there too, a cutting board so that it wouldn't bend or rip or anything. So that's the bottom. And now I'll do the top. Getting that cutting board out from under it was the hardest part. So here's the cinnamon sugar again. And I'll just go across. You have to do it on parchment paper because it's got to be absolutely no stick. That's the way I understand it anyway. I use parchment paper almost exclusively anyway. I use it for, cookies. I use it for barbecue. I use it for anything sticky. Okay, so now this is going to be the inside of the cookie. Now I've got to roll it. You've probably all seen this, but you roll it like this, and then I'm going to do it again and again, and in the middle it'll come together. There it is, and it's not the bestest job I've seen. I've seen people do it a lot better, and it may be that it's this brand, and I've never worked with it. It feels a lot more, it's only been out of the fridge like 5 minutes, so it feels more loose and soft than the other brand that I use. So I'm going to stick it in the fridge for just a couple minutes. I rolled it up in the paper it was on, and I just tucked it in and put this down. And it's on a board because it's so soft, and it'll stay upright in the fridge like I want it to and not droop. Well, just in case you think I'm perfect. I know you don't. I'm joking. I didn't do this well. And so I'll show you anyway. We're calling them cinnamon roll ears. Here's the bottom. They actually look, if you were trying to make cinnamon rolls, I'd be like, yeah, that worked. But these are too poofy. They needed to be flatter and too big, I think. And some of them clearly had a problem becoming an ear at all. They remind me of Mother and Baby. I have a little wooden, in the bathroom, a statue that my mom gave me years ago that's a mother loving on a baby that she's holding and looking at. And so we could call it Mother and Baby rolls. I don't know what you call it, but you call it done wrong, really. And these are the ones I'm going to show you. There are 4 or 5 over there still in the cookie tray. The cooking sheet, baking sheet, that you can't even identify. I might even show them to you. Here we go. It's like, what? What happened here? We lost one. I think that was the end of the roll, and it was already kind of wonky. So this is not my best effort. I mean, I made an effort, but I could have done better for sure. And so that happens when you bake, and what you do is you call your husband in and you say, oh, it didn't work, and he says to you, you know what, they're going to be tasty though. And so thank you for my husband saying that to me. I think that I'm going to go on now, and I've got some other things that I need to bake. I've got an apple cake thing here in a mix that I wanted to do, and I may just go ahead and do that and call this B for effort. All right, we're in try 2. So I wanted to make this in the autumn, and I'm not getting any younger on waiting for autumn here because it's not very far away. 21st of December is just, 3 weeks into December, so and we're almost to December. I'm going to make this Northwest apple cake, and it's using baking mix. So all it takes is 3 apples of your choice that I had, these Granny Smith, and I think those go well. And it called for walnuts. I don't know where my walnuts are. So we're using pecans. If you're an Okie, use pecans anyway, and that's what I am. So a cup of pecans, and right here, I'm gonna mix them up pretty small. I'm gonna slice them up pretty small. I've got gloves because I'm real allergic to some fruits, and Granny Smiths are one of the things that I can't do. After I slice them up, I'm going to put them in this bowl of water, and that just has some lemon juice in it. I just drizzled some to keep them from getting too brown. I don't know that that'll make a difference because we're cooking them, and they'll turn brown when we cook them, but maybe it'll make them fresher. I don't know. So, and it takes 2 eggs, the batter does. What was I showing? I was showing this. I needed an 8x8x2 pan. I didn't know I had an 8x8x2 pan. And after that fiasco with my palmiers, I measured. That is exactly 8x8x2. So now I know. And that's been sprayed lightly. No, it hasn't. I will spray this lightly with the Pam, and that's why that's there. Okay, I think I told you everything. I'm going to get busy on this, and I'll show you step by step. It's not too difficult, It's like a cake mix, but you add some things into it. Oh, for serving, I have some salted caramel sauce that I'm going to drizzle across, and then I'm going to put maybe I'll put the dollop of whipped cream on first and then drizzle the caramel sauce for aesthetics. Okay. All right, I fiddled around with a paring knife for the first apple, and then I went, oh my word, I have this slap chop thing, whatever it's called. And so that sped up my, significantly the amount of time I was taking fiddling with the apples. So some of them, you can see some of them have the peel and some of them don't. I didn't want them all to have the peel, just some that you'd see green here and there. So I'll put this in the fridge, and I will do the nuts, which will be so much easier next. Right, the biggest portion of what took so long with this cake was doing the apples. I did about double the amount. That was just 3 apples. I didn't know it would make more than 2 cups, but it made near 4 cups, I think. So anyway, I'm going to spray the pan, and the oven is already heated. Lightly, it said. Oops. Okay, here's the actual cake mix that came in the Northwest apple cake baking mix. I wonder if you can make some killer waffles with these too. It'd be an expensive way to make waffles because this isn't like, it's more of a specialty cake mix than, one of the mass-produced kind, so it was more. I'll put in the 2 eggs next. Plot twist, this says 2 apples, not 2 cups. So 3 apples, of course, was too much. I'm going to take out just a little bit of this to make it exactly 2 cups. And apples are in, nuts are in, and get it put in the pan in just a few minutes. So stir this up good. When I first started stirring this and saw the amount of dry powder mix, for the cake mix, I thought, no way, this needs liquid. But the more I mix it, the wetter it becomes from the apples, I guess. And so it's going to be fine. Talking myself down. There it is. It looks plenty wet. I don't know how that works. I guess the apples, do something to the powder that make it moister. Anyway, 350, 45 to 55 minutes. Do not eat the raw batter. Yeah, I'll try to control myself. You can make muffins with this too. Just for doneness, you insert a toothpick in the center. That's what the muffins, I guess. Oh, the possibilities are endless. You can do this and add peaches or pears, carrots or zucchini, crushed pineapple, shredded coconut. I used pecans, so I feel better. Because I don't know what I did with my walnuts. They're probably out in one of the freezers. All right, it's in 350 for 45 minutes, and then I'll stick it with a pick and see what it says about itself in the middle. I had this much left of the diced apples, so I'm going to put them in the freezer. They're all the way to the top, and so there's not a lot of air in here, but I still put them in a baggie just in case the lid pops off or more air gets in. I can use these in like oatmeal or other hot cereals. I could use it in making muffins, so I'm not going to waste it, you know. It's out of the oven and cooled all the way, and I was going to put some whipped cream on it and some caramel sauce. Okay, it's crunchy. It's not cakey, it's crunchy. But maybe that's supposed to be how it is. I'm not sure. But there it is, and I'm done. Thanks for watching. If you'd never like, comment, or subscribe, feel free. I'd love to get to meet you. It's free. Bye.